Okay, so today we are going to discuss the June 2020 P4 paper. So let's start with question number 1. Given that n is an integer, use algebra to prove by contradiction that if n cube is even, then n is even. Okay, Buddha. So I'm asking you the question now. When you say proving by contradiction, what is the first thing that you are supposed to do? When you normally prove by contradiction, okay, what's the first thing that you are supposed to do in here? Can you remember? The first thing we do is, Buddha, you have to go for the assumption. Can you remember? You have to go for an assumption where you say that that the given statement is wrong. Okay, so you have to assume that this given statement is wrong, and then what we do, we improve by contradiction is you take your assumption where you say that this particular statement is wrong, and you go work with that particular statement until you come to a point where that your assumption statement is not valid. It's going wrong. It's proving wrong, and then therefore it contradicts. Therefore, your original statement is true. So this is what we mean by proving by contradiction. Okay, so what's our assumption? So what is our assumption? We assume that here they say given that n is an integer, we have to show that if n cube is even, then n is even. So what do we do here? So we have to assume that there is a number, there is an integer n. Assume there is an integer n. Assume there exists an integer n such that, can you tell me what is the contradiction? What is the negative here? What is the, what am I going to assume here? There exists an, yeah, such that
n cube is even.
Then it should be
n is odd.
Odd, because that is the negative of the statement. So then our original statement is n cube is even, n is even. So now we are taking the negative of it, n cube is even, n is odd. Okay, so let's work with that. So if n is odd, how can I write n? An odd number, we can write it in the format of 2k plus 1, right? Any odd number should follow the format of 2k plus 1. Do you agree? Here k is an integer, okay? You can't have k being any figure. K has to be an integer. So what do you do here? N equal to k plus 1. And then we let's get the n cube value. So n cube is 2k plus 1 whole thing to the power 3. So can you tell me how it opens? You could open it binomial expansion, or you could do it manual anyway. So this is 2k plus 1 times. When I open this, I get 4k square plus 4k plus 1. Do you agree with that? Is this okay? Then 2k into 4k is 8k cube. Okay, then 2k into 4k again 8k square. 2k into 1 is 2k. Then 1 into 4k is 4k square plus 4k plus 1. Is this clear with you what I'm doing? 8k cube.
Yes.
12k square. 6k plus 1. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, now how do you say whether this is odd or even? You know, an even number is always, now here k is an integer, okay? So, yeah? I didn't hear you. Anyway, what happens here is if it's an even number, it's a multiple of 2, right? An even number is a multiple of 2. So this is an even number or odd number. What do you think? Yeah?
The first three constants are even numbers.
Yes. From the first three, you can take a 2 out. Actually, take a 2 out and show it. You can take a 2 out like this. 2 times 4, 6, and 2 times 3. Take the 2 out and show it. And there's extra 1. So, you know, definitely when you have a multiplication of 2, this is definitely even. And then 1 more than an even number is definitely what? 1 more than an even number is definitely, are you hearing me? 1 more than an even number is definitely odd, right?
Yes, miss.
Because from odd to even to odd, you jump by 1, right?
Yes.
So you can write your final statement. N cube is odd. Therefore, This contradicts the assumption, isn't it? The assumption
Yes.
is wrong because your n cube is even. You got here n cube is such that n cube is even. Oh gosh, I had done that. Yeah, n is odd. Yeah. So n cube is yeah. I'm getting n cube is odd. Okay, so we are supposed to show n cube is even. Okay, so this contradicts our assumption. Therefore, if n cube is even, then n is even. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, miss. Okay.
Okay, so moving on to question number 2. Use the binomial expansion to expand 4 minus 5x to the power minus half in ascending powers of x up to and including the term in x square, giving each coefficient as a fully simplified fraction. Okay, so you'll have to help me here. The first thing here is that you need to remember how to expand. How do you expand? Normally in this, we expand by using the format 1 plus x to the power n, right? And then we go with 1 plus nx plus n minus 1 x square over 2 factorial. Right? So they want until x square. Okay, so here we have 4 minus 5x to the power minus half. So how does this work?
That replace n with the to the power.
Before replacing n, do you see that is the format okay? Do you think this format looks okay? The format is that you should have a 1.
There's a minus sign.
There should be a 1. Now the plus minus is also not a big issue. The biggest issue is you must have a 1 here. And here you have a 4. So that doesn't work. I mean, to apply this particular format, you must have a 1 over here, not a 4, not a 5, not any other figure. It has to be a 1. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
So what you do is you take a 4 from that part and then you get 1 minus 5x over 4. Do you agree? I take it out. And out of the entire, the whole thing is to the power of minus half. Is that okay?
Yeah, miss.
I took a 4 out here, 1 minus 5x over 4. Okay. So this gives me 4 to the power minus half times 1 minus 5x over 4 to the power minus half. Can I know how much is 4 to the power minus half? How much is 4 to the power minus half?
Half, miss.
Half. Okay, right. Then Buddha, now we can apply this equation. We'll apply this equation half times 1 minus 5x to the power 4 to the power minus half. So this half can be there outside, and let's apply then 1 plus. How much is n? N is?
Minus half.
Minus half. And how? What is x Pata here? 1 plus n. Yeah, x is?
5 over 4x.
No, there's something else you missed. X is?
Minus 5 over 4.
5x over 4. Okay, so this is nx. The next term plus n minus 1 x square. So that is negative 5x over 4 square over 2 factorial. Over 2 factorial, I'll write as 1 over 2 factorial. Is that okay?
Yes.
So that's all. I only need to go until x square, right? So now take the cal and let's work on this. Give me the values of these guys one by one. Half is the outside. 1, what happens here? Minus is a plus.
Plus 5 over 8x.
5 over 8x, okay. And then the other guy, this one you'll have to work on it, right?
Yes.
It's a matter of typing in the cal. There's a lot to type. Minus half times minus half minus 1, which is basically minus 3 over 2. And this guy you have to be careful. This is minus 5 over 4 whole thing square. The x you
Yes.
can't type in the cal, so leave the x out and type. And into 1 over 2 factorial. 1 over 2 factorial. Can you see? You have typed the whole thing. Minus half into minus half minus 1 into 5 minus 5 over 4 whole thing square into 1 over 2 factorial, and you get 75 over 128. And don't forget the x term, because the x term we can type in the cal. So 75 over 128, and it's x square. Do you agree?
Agreed, miss.
Okay, put the half in and you get here half. 5 over 8 into half is?
5 over 16.
And then 75 over 128 into half is? 75 over?
75 over 256.
Okay. So that is the expansion. So this is the part A. In ascending powers of x up to and including the term in x square, giving each coefficient as a fully simplified fraction. So done. The answer for part A. Okay. So then moving on to the next part. Fx equal 2 plus kx over root 4 minus 5x, where k is a constant. Given that the series expansion of fx in ascending powers of x is 1 plus 3 over 10x plus mx square, where m is a constant, find the value of k. Okay, so do you think you understand how to do this? So they have told you that fx is 2 plus kx over root 4 minus 5x. Okay. The first thing that you can do here is you can bring the root, because now you need to obviously use the help of your part A. So part A, you can see we have 5 minus 4x to the power minus half. Do you see how part A can be related to part B? First of
Yeah,
all,
miss.
how can we relate it?
That the root 4 minus
Yeah,
5x can be changed to 4 minus 5x whole thing to power half.
half, and you can bring it up. When you bring it up,
Yeah.
it becomes minus half. At the denominator, it's a power half. Bring it up, it's a power negative half. So this guy, this expansion, root 4 minus 5x to the power negative half, is what we have expanded all the way over here, right? So that we have that guy's answer. So you can use that answer, 2 plus kx. So we have the first three terms of the expansion of this guy, which is half plus 5 over 16 plus 75 over 256x squared. Do you agree? Ral, do you agree? Yes?
Agreed, miss. Yeah.
Okay. Now find the value of k. So what you got to do here is compare. Now they have told you the fx expansion is, they have told you the fx expansion is 1 plus 3 over 10x plus mx square. So I really don't want to open one by one. So we'll go with these coefficients. So I think you can see all you have to do is like compare the coefficient. They're asking you part B, find the value of k. Okay, so obviously to find the value of k, I think you can see k is a part of the x coefficient, right? So shall we take all the x coefficients from here? So take the kx, if I multiply with half, I get x term, right?
Yes.
And then is there any other term that I get x with? Because I'm going to take the x coefficient. Any other term, anyone else who gives me x? Because you can see kx with x is a x square. Kx with x square is x cube. I don't want x square, x cubes. So
2
I get
times 5 over 16.
2 times 5 over 16x also gives me an x term. So let's compare the x terms. So I get for x terms 2 times 5 over 16x and kx
into
half. Okay, so these are the people who give me the x terms. So this all together, these x terms must be equal to how much?
3 over 10x.
3 over 10x, exactly. Because whatever the x terms you have over here should match with what I have over here. Okay, so simplify this, but I think we can remove the x version. 2 over 5 into 16, this is 5 over 8. Plus k over 2 equal 3 over 10. Can you make k the subject with that?
Yeah.
3 over 10 minus 5 over 8, and then k equal 3 over 10 minus 5 over 8, whole thing multiplied by 2.
Minus 13 over 20.
Minus 13 over 20. K is minus 13 or 20. You have to subtract these two guys and the 2 goes as a multiplication, right? Okay, and then after finding K, now they're asking you, this is part B. I think part C is to find the value of M. So to find the value of M, what do you think you should do? I think you can see M is the x square coefficient, right?
Yeah.
So can we go for the x square, people? Okay, what gives us the x square? Can you look at what gives you the
Kx into 5 over 16x.
Yeah, kx into
5 over 16x.
Okay, that is 1.
2 times 75 over 256x.
2 times 75 over 256 x square. So these two guys. Okay, let's write it down. So I get here 2 times 75 over 256 is 1x square term. Kx times 5 over 16x is the other guy who gives me x square. That's all right. Those are the only two people who gives me x square. So this is equal to, from over here, the x square coefficient is mx square. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
This is 75 over 128 x square. Check whether my working is correct. This is 5k over 16x square equal mx square. Is that okay?
Yeah, miss. Okay.
So I have taken all the x square and I'll remove the x square. K value is known, isn't it?
Yeah, miss. 13 minus 13 over 20.
Get the m value. It's a matter of typing in the cal. How much is m?
This I got 49 over 128.
Yes. So m is 49 over 128. Okay, so that is the end of question number 2. Okay, so question number 3. Figure 1 shows a sketch of part of the curve with the equation y equal e to the power 0.5x minus 2. The region R shown shaded in figure 1 is bounded by the curve, the x-axis and the y-axis. The region R is rotated 360 degrees above the x-axis to form a solid of revolution. Show that the volume of the solid of revolution can be written in the form A ln 2 plus B, where A and B are constants to be found. Okay, so how do we do this? Basically, volume of revolution, there are two main equations you use. One is the parametric one and the other one Cartesian one. The Cartesian format is pi y square dx, right? And the parametric format is volume is equal to pi y square, sorry, I have written pi twice. Y square dx by dt with respect to t, dt. You remember? So this is the Cartesian format, this is the parametric format. So in this situation, what is the appropriate one? Cartesian or parametric? Yes, Pada?
Yes.
It's Cartesian because your x and y are together. You don't have any parameter here. So you can directly go with Cartesian. Okay, let's go with Cartesian. Okay, and then however, when you're using Cartesian, your limits, you are doing this with respect to x. So you need to give your x limits. So what are our x limits? Obviously, I can see this region, this shaded region starts with what x value, Pada? The shaded region starts with
0
x value is 0, and you have to get the other x, the ending place. So this is where the x values start. The shaded region starts with this particular x value, ends with this guy. So you have to find this x value. Can you tell me how I can find it? How can I find this particular x value? Because that is the place where the graph cuts the
x-axis.
So when you cut the x-axis,
Y equals to 0.
Y should be 0. So you take your graph, make y 0, e to the power half x minus 2. Minus 2 goes as plus 2. E to the power 0.5x. So next you can put ln, right? To both the sides. Ln e to the power 0.5x. 0.5x comes as a comes from ln e. Ln e is 1. So x equals, this is half. So half cancels as 2. So x equal to ln 2. Is that okay? Or you can say ln 4. The 2 can go inside as a multiplication. Ln 2 to the power 2, which is ln 4. Are you okay with me? Is that okay, Buddha?
Understood. Yeah.
Okay, now let's go for this is just finding the limits. Now it's time for the main integration to get the volume. So volume equal pi y square dx. And your limits are from 0 to ln4. So let's find it out. Pi y square. So y square is e to the power, y is e to the power half x minus 2. So this needs to be squared. Okay, so squaring means you write the bracket twice. So e to the power half x minus 2 into e to the power half x minus 2. So how much is that? E to the power half x into e to the power half x. What happens when you multiply the same person twice?
A to power x.
E to the power x, the same base multiplication, powers are added. So
Yeah.
half x, powers are added. So e to the power 1x, just ex. And then you get here, the next person you get here is e to the power half x into minus 2. So that will just give you minus 2 e to the power half x, right?
Yeah, miss.
And again this guy, minus 2 e to the power half, that's another minus 2 e to the power half x. So altogether, minus 2 e to the
Minus
power half
4.
x. Yeah, minus 4.
E to power half x. Yeah.
Minus 4 e to the power half x. And finally, minus 2 times minus 2 is a plus 4.
Plus 4.
So we are done. 0 to ln4. Okay, now it's time to integrate. Pi times, okay. So integrate ex, when you integrate with respect to x, ex integration is ex. Minus 4 times e to the power, when there is a coefficient of x, you have to divide by the x coefficient, right? When you are integrating, the rule is e to the power ax plus b. When you integrate, it's 1 over a e to the power ax plus b. Do you remember?
I remember.
So e to the power half x, you divide by half. What about the 4 when you integrate?
4x.
Integration of 4 is 4x. So put your limits 0, ln4. Okay, so let's put the limits and get it done. 5 times e to the power ln4. 4 over half is how much actually? 4 divided by half. It's easier if we do it like that, right? 4 over half is 8, right?
8, miss, yeah.
8 times half ln4 plus 4 times ln4. This is the first limit. Okay.
Yes.
I put a big curly bracket because, you know, this pi is common to both the limits then. Next one, e to the power 0 for minus 4 over half is 8. E to the power half into 0, that is a half, plus 4 times a 0. Agreed?
Agreed, miss.
Okay, then e to the power ln4. Obviously, I think you know what this is, right? E to the power ln4 is 4. E ln x is x, right?
Yes.
So e ln4 is 4 minus 8. You can't pull that off here because e to the power there's a half. Better to put the half inside. So 8 e to the power half goes inside as a power. What is 4 to the power half? ln 4 to the power half is 2. 4 to the power half, right? Are you with me?
No. Yes.
It's a 4 to the power half, not a 4 to the power 2. 4
Yeah.
to the power half. So that is 4 to the power half is a 2. Here it's a ln4. Over here I have e to the power 0 is 1.
1.
Minus 8 times e to the power 0, that is 8 times 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 5 times 4 minus, so e ln2 is 2, right? E times e to the power ln2 is 2. Like e ln x is x, e ln2 is 2. Plus 4 ln4. This guy can become, it becomes minus 1 plus 8. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
So final answer, can I see what it is? 4 minus 16. The answer has ln4. They have said to keep the answer in terms of ln2. Let's keep it ln2 plus 4 times ln4 is 2 to the power 2, right?
Yeah.
Can you add all these numbers? 4 minus 16 minus 1 plus 8. How much is it?
4 minus 16 minus 12.
1 plus 8. How much is it? Minus 8. It's 5, right? Minus 5.
minus 5 plus 4 ln to the power
Plus
2.
the 2 comes front, the power 2 comes front, multiplies it 4 and gives you 8 ln 2. Isn't it?
Yes.
So minus 5 pi plus 8 pi ln 2. That's to show that, right? I mean, something like that. A ln 2 plus b. So a ln 2 plus b. So a is 8 pi ln 2 plus b is minus 5 pi. That's all. Okay, so that is the end of question number 3. Okay, question number 4. Figure 2 shows a sketch of part of the curve with parametric equation x equal to t square minus 60 and y equal t cube minus 40. Okay, so this is parametric. Clearly, x and y are separately given. So it's parametric. The curve cuts the x-axis at the origin at the points A and B. We can see there are 3 points. As shown in figure 2, find the coordinates of A and show that B has coordinates 20, 0. Okay, so 3 marks for this. So anyway, whenever we cut the x-axis, what's the first thing that comes into our mind?
Y equals 0.
Y is 0. So use y as 0, t cube minus 40. You can take a t out and you get t square minus 4. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
How can I further factorize t square minus 4? We can further factorize t square minus 4 by using difference of two squares, t minus 2t plus 2. Because
T
4
minus
is
2 and t plus 2.
Yeah, t square minus 4 is 2 square and 4 is 2 to the power 2. Okay. So you end up getting here t equals 0 or t minus 2 equals 0 or t plus 2 equals 0. So t equals 0 or t equals 2 or t equals minus 2. Is that okay?
Okay, miss.
Is that okay with that?
Yes, miss.
Then the next thing is the what we do is, we have to get the x values, obviously. So put the other 3 particular t values and get the x values. So when t equals 0, I think that is obvious, right? So when t is 0, I think very clearly you can see x is 0, right?
Yeah.
And then when t is 2, I know how much that is.
Minus 4.
Minus 4, right?
Yes.
And then when t is minus 2,
Okay.
how much is it?
20.
How much? 20. Yeah.
20, miss.
Yeah. So I think very clearly we can see coordinates of A should be definitely what? A is at
Minus
the back. Yeah, how much?
Yeah.
There.
Minus 4, 0.
Minus 4,
What
0. And B should be
20, 0.
20, 0. Clearly. And the other one is 0, 0 is the origin. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then the next one. Show that the equation of the tangent to the curve at B is this. Okay. So you have to get the equation of the tangent to the curve at B. Okay. So how do you get the equation of the tangent to the curve at B? Right, the tangent. So normally when you want to find the tangent, tangent B is just the line that barely touches and goes like this. So anyway, P1, when you want to find the tangent, you have to get the gradient, right? You have to get what?
Yes.
Your dy by dx, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we get part B dy by dx? I think you can see we can't immediately find dy by dx. So we will have to go with the chain rule, isn't it? By using this dy by dx, because y and x are not together, so you can't immediately find dy by dx. So you will have to go with dy by dt into dt by dx. Can you see the t and t cancels and you get dy by dx?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So then you will have to go with this. Okay. So first we'll find our dy by dt. Y equal t cube minus 40. So dy by dt is how much, Buddha?
3t t squared minus 4.
And then x equal 2t square minus 60. 2t square minus 60. 1 second. Okay, so x equal 2t square. So when 2t square minus 60. So when we get dx by dt, this gives me how much for the 2t square
40
differentiation?
minus 6.
40 minus 6. Okay, time to get dy by dt. Sorry, dy by dx. So dy by dx equal dy by dt, which is 3t square minus 4 multiplied by dt by dx. So do I have dt by dx? I have dx by dt. So how can I make it dt by dx?
1 over 40 minus 6.
1 over 40 minus 6. And then they have told me that they want me to find the tangent to the curve at B. So there's a point B. So at the point B, you have to get the proper gradient. So at point B, I think, you know, point B is 20, 0. Point B occurs in at what t value? Point B occurs at what t value? 0, 2 or minus 2. Point B is 20,
Minus 2.
0. And at 20, 0, the t value was minus 2, right? Yes.
Yeah, minus 2.
So replace t with minus 2 to get the gradient at B. Three times minus 2 square minus 4. 4 times minus 2 minus 6. How much is the answer for that?
I get minus 4 over 7.
Minus 4 over 7. Gradient.
Gradient. Yeah.
Gradient of tangent is minus 4 over 7. Okay, so then we just need to get the equation of the tangent at B. So end of the day, equation of tangent y minus y1 equal gradient x minus x1. So tangent at B, right? At B, the coordinate was 20, 0, isn't it?
Yes.
So we can substitute the coordinate. Y minus y1 should be
0.
0. Equal gradient is minus 4 over 7. X minus x1 is 20. Okay. I'll take the 7 to the other side. So 7y. This is minus 4x. You open the bracket with minus 4. Minus 4x minus 4 into minus 20 is plus 8. Is that okay?
Yes.
So I end up getting 7y plus 4x minus 80 equals 0. Which is our show that, I believe, right? 7y plus 4x minus 80 equals 0 is our show that. Okay. So I'll move on to the next part. The tangent to the curve at B cuts the curve again. So this tangent cuts your curve again at the point B. You find using algebra the x coordinate of P. Okay, so you have to solve that. So if your tangent cuts the curve again, what do you have to do? You have to solve the two respective equations simultaneous, right? So your tangent is 7y plus 4x minus 80. It cuts the curve. What's our curve equation? What's our curve equation, Bada? Yeah, our curve equation is parametric, right? We don't have a Cartesian equation, but we do have a parametric equation, right?
Yes.
So that is x equal to t square minus 60 and y equal t cube minus 40. Is that correct? So all you have to do here is replace the x and y. So solving simultaneously means you take your curve and go and replace the x value here. Go and over here, and this y value you put it over here. Okay.
Okay.
7y. So y is t cube minus 40 plus 4x. X is 2t square minus 60 minus 80. So I think you end up getting a cubic equation, right? 7t cubed. 7 times 4, 28t. 4 times 2, 8t square. 4 times 6, 24t. Minus 80. Am I correct?
Yeah, miss.
Can you simplify it, Pudha? What do you get here?
70 cube
Plus 80 square
plus 80 square
minus 52t minus 80 equals 0,
52
right?
minus 80.
Yeah. So you get a
Yes.
cubic equation like this. Okay, now the biggest issue is how do we factorize this? How do we factorize this? Now they have told you what are the solutions of this equation, by the way? The solutions of now this is what do you do? You solve the straight line with the equation of the curve, right? That's what you did here. You took the equation of the straight line with the equation of the curve. So normally when you solve a pair of equations simultaneously, you get the place where these two curves or where these two guys intersect, right?
Yes.
So do we already know a point of intersection? Don't we already know a point of intersection?
Yeah, miss, the
At this point, right?
point at B. Yeah.
At B. So then at B, what was the solution? The solution was t was equal to -2, right?
T equals -2. Yeah.
Equal. So if t is equal to -2, what does it mean? It means t equal -2 is a solution, means t plus 2 is a factor of this guy, right? Do you agree? T plus 2 should be a factor. T equal, this is
Yeah.
P2. If t equal -2 is a solution, then t plus 2 is a factor. So you can either long divide and get it. So anyway, otherwise I think it's difficult to get it at once, right? Normally, if it's a tangent, that means that factor is repeated also. Anyway, let me show it to you. So you can divide by t minus 2, right? No, t plus 2. T equal -2. So factor is t plus 2. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
So let's divide 70 cube divided by t is 70 square. And then here you get how much? 7 times 2, 70 cube. 7 times 2, 14t square, right?
Yeah.
So when you subtract, you get here 0. 8 minus 14 is?
-6.
How much?
-6.
-6.
-60 square.
And you get down here minus 52t minus 80. So see, minus 60 square, you divide by t, you end up getting minus 60, right? So multiply minus 60 with t, minus 60 with t is minus 60 square. Minus 60 times 2 is minus 12t. Agreed? Subtracting, so you get here, this guy is 0, minus 52 minus 12.
-40.
That is minus 40t. Yeah. And then you have minus 80. And then next thing, divide minus 40t by t and you get
-40.
minus 40. Multiply with minus 40. Minus 40 into t is minus 40t. Minus 40 into 2 is minus 80. Subtract these two guys and it will be a perfect 0. So which means you have the factors of that guy. So you got the equation 70 cube plus 80 square minus 52t minus 80 equals 0. So obviously I know one factor is t plus 2, the other factor is the quotient. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
Then can you factorize this guy, Buddha? It's a quadratic, you can type in the cal. What are the two factors?
X equals 20/7 and -2.
But I want the factors. You have to tell it to me in fraction form first. 20/7 means
70 minus 20.
70 minus 20. And the other factor,
And
the order
plus
is
2.
x equal minus, so t plus 2.
Yes.
So you can see t plus 2 is a repeated factor. Why? It's a tangent. Tangent means normally it's a repeated factor. Okay, so then you have here, now they want the other place. They wanted you to find the x coordinate where you cut the curve again, right? You're going to cut the curve again. They want you to find the x coordinate where you cut the curve again. So obviously, what is the t value of interest now? T equal 20/7 is a new t value, right? T equal -2, we already had. They want the x coordinate. So what is our x equation? X equation was
2t minus 60.
2t square minus 60. So replace the t with 20/7. How much is it?
Minus 40/49.
Minus 40/49. So that's it. Yeah. So this is the answer for part C. Okay. So we'll move on to question number 5. Okay, part A, find the integration of ln x over x squared dx. Okay, how do we get the integration of ln x over x squared? What is the technique that we should use, Vira?
Take the x squared upwards. This.
Okay, and then so x to the power minus 2 times ln x. Okay, now what? Now what theory are we going to use? Obviously, none of the normal theories work. We'll have to go with integration by parts, right? Integration by parts, where one person is selected to be u, which will differentiate. The other person is v dash, which is selected to integrate. So obviously you can see here we don't have much of a choice. Like if you take these two guys, x to the power minus 2, we can differentiate, we can integrate. But when you take ln x, you know only how to differentiate ln x. Ln x differentiation is 1 over x. We don't know how to integrate ln x, right? Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
Therefore, ln x we know how to differentiate. So ln x has to be your u, while this guy will be your v dash. Are you with me? So
Yes,
u is ln x, which means u dash differentiation of ln x is 1 over x. V dash is x to the power minus 2. V dash should be, what are we doing? We removing the dash means you are integrating. So integrate v dash to v. How do you integrate x to the power minus 2? When you integrate, add 1 to the power minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1 over minus 2. Basically, it's minus 1 over x, right?
Yes.
So then the integration rule is u v dash dx is equal to u v minus integration v u dash, isn't it?
Yes.
This is the parts by integration rule, isn't it? That's all you need to apply here. So I have my u, I have my v dash. So matter of just putting the values here. So let's get it done. X to the power minus 2 ln x, with respect to x when you integrate uv. So u is ln x, v is
X.
minus 1 over x, right? And then minus integration v is once again minus 1 over x into u dash. U dash is 1 over x, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what do we get here? I end up getting here minus 1 over x ln x. Minus minus is a plus. I have a 1 over x square, or rather x to the power minus 2.
Yes.
I have x to the power minus 2. Okay, so then what happens here? Minus 1 over x ln x. X to the power minus 2 when you integrate. What do you get?
Minus 1 over x.
Minus 1 over minus 1. Adding x to the power and dividing. And then plus c, right?
Yes, plus.
Yeah. So you get this one for part A. So moving on to part B. The finite region R shown shaded in figure 3 is bounded by the curve, the line, the equation x equal to the x-axis, and the line with the equation x equal 4. I think very clearly we can see our limits, right? Use the answer to part A to find the exact area of R. Writing your answer in simplest form. Okay, normally how do we get the area under the curve with the P2, right? In P2, how do you normally get the area under the curve? Area is equal to, yeah, you integrate your curve. You integrate your curve between the limits. So your x limits are between 2 and 4. Agree? You integrate your curve in between 2 and 4. So what's your curve? Y is 3 plus 2x plus ln x over x square. Okay, so this is what you have. So now with the thing is, they are say to you very clearly, you have to use the help of part A also. So this is 3 over x square. This is 2x over x square. plus this is ln x over x square. I think you can see how part A relates here, right? Part A relates here for which person? This is 3x to the power minus 2. Here x cancels and you get here 2 over x. Okay. These two guys are okay. Plus this guy, right? Integration of ln x over x square is what we have done in part A, right?
Yeah, miss.
Integration of ln x over x square is what we have. So we have that answer. All you have to do is you don't have to integrate it. Just substitute that answer. These two guys you should integrate. 3x to the power minus 2. When you integrate, what do you get? 3x to the power?
X to power minus 1 over minus
2 over x. What happens when you integrate? 2 times 1 over x. 1 over x integration is? Ln x. Isn't it? 1 over x integration is ln x. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
And the other guy, this one, ln x over x square integration is minus 1 over x ln x minus 1 over x. There's no need to put the plus c because we are going to be putting the limits.
Yeah.
2 to 4. Okay. You have to remember these integration rules, Buddha. The integration rules must clearly be there inside your head. These are the differentiation rules. Not the differentiation rules. The integration rules are they here. Yeah. You need to know these rules very clearly. Okay.
Okay,
These,
miss.
9 rules, like you need to have it inside your head very clearly. Okay, so then let's apply the limits. So this is minus 3, 4 to the power minus 1 plus 2 ln 4 minus 1 over 4 ln 4 minus 1 over 4. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
This is the first guy. Then replace everyone with 2. Minus 3 times 2 to the power minus 1 plus 2 ln 2 minus 1 over 2 ln 2 minus 1 over 2. Shall we simplify the values first?
Yes.
So minus 3 into 4
Minus
to the
3
power
over
minus 1. Yeah, that is minus 3 over 4. ln terms you can keep it. Type these guys minus 1 over 4. So that is minus 1, right? 3 into minus 4 to the power minus 3 into 4 to the power minus 1 and minus 1 over 4. These two guys give me a minus 1.
Yes.
2 ln 4 minus 1 over 4 ln 4. So this is like 2a minus 1/4 a, right? Because basically both are the same thing. So 2 because 2a minus 1/4 a. So 2 minus 1 over 4. Both of them are similar terms.
7 over 4.
2 minus 1 over 4 is 7 over 4. Similarly, get the other guy also minus 3 into minus 2, 3 minus 3 into 2 to the power minus 1.
Minus 3 over 2.
Minus 3 into 2 to the power minus 1 and minus half, right? So this is a minus 2. Do you agree?
Agreed, miss.
And similarly, 2 ln 2 minus half ln 2. The ln values are the same. So you can work with it. 2 ln 2 minus half. That gives me 3 over 2, right? Plus.
Okay. Yes.
Let's get everyone together. Minus 1 plus 7 over 4. I think I need to keep this. Have they given us a format? Giving you answer as the exact, they have not given us a format. They want the exact answer in simplest form. So ln 4 we can simplify, right? ln 4 can be written as 2 to the power 2, right?
Yes.
Minus minus is plus. Here minus 3 over 2 ln 2. Okay?
Okay.
So minus 1 plus 2 is a 1. This is 7 over 4. You multiply by 2 and you get ln 2. Do you agree with me?
Agreed, miss.
So how much is it? 1. 7 over 4 into, so that is 7 over 2 minus 3 over 2. 7 minus 3, that is 4 over 2. Which is 2, right?
2, miss.
1 plus 2 ln 2. So this can be your answer in the simplest form. The exact answer. Write your answer in the exact form in simplest form. Okay, so this is the end of this question. Okay, so moving on to question number 6. A curve C has equation y equal x to the power sine x. First, find by firstly taking natural logarithms and expression for dy by dx in terms of x and y. So obviously you can see that this type of format, we don't deal with this type of format. I mean, first what we do is they have told you very clearly to take the natural logarithm. Let's take the natural logarithm. Natural logarithm is ln, the base e. Natural logarithm is log to the base of e. Okay. So part A, they say here y equal x to the power sine x. Okay, let's take the natural logarithm to both the sides, which means ln. Ln means log base e. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
So what happens when you use the natural logarithm? I mean, when you use a logarithm, basically when there's a power, when your inside number has a power, you
Bring
can
to the
bring it
front.
forward, right? So you basically get here ln y equal sine x times ln x. Are you okay with it?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so now it's time to differentiate. Shall we differentiate? And we have to get our dy by dx in terms of x and y. Okay, let's differentiate. Okay, so let's differentiate ln. So what's the rule of differentiating ln? Yeah, I have my rules.
Differentiating ln x is 1 over x. That's what I remember.
1 over the inside part into on the numerator, you have to have the differentiation of that person. Or you can write like here 1 over fx into f dash x basically. Okay.
Yes, miss.
So ln y. So how do you differentiate? Ln will differentiate with respect to x. Okay. So y becomes dy by dx when you differentiate. Okay. So ln y first apply 1 over. Obviously, you had write 1 over whatever is inside, right? ln fx,
Yes.
1 over fx. So ln y is 1 over
1 over y. Miss.
y into now differentiate y. What's the differentiation of y? Differentiation of y with respect to x is
Y, dy over
dy by
dx.
dx. When you differentiate y with respect to x, you get dy by dx. Okay. Here I apply this particular rule. ln fx rule is where when you differentiate, you write 1 over that person and into differentiation of that person. So here the inside person is y. So you write 1 over that person, that is 1 over y into differentiation of y. So now we can write here 1 or dy by dx depending on with respect to what you are differentiating. So I thought of differentiating with respect to x. So when you differentiate a y with respect to x, you should write dy by dx. Okay, Bada?
Okay, miss.
So differentiating with respect to x. So when you differentiate with respect to x, x terms become differentiation of x becomes 1. Differentiation of y should be dy by dx. Okay, now sin x, ln x, how do you differentiate? Obviously, you have to go with this 11th rule, right? Product rule. One person stays, the other person differentiates. Okay? Can you tell me how it works, Pada? Sin x stays. What happens when you differentiate ln x? ln x differentiation is 1 over, yes, Pada?
1 over x times
1 over x times x differentiation is 1. With respect to x, x differentiation with respect to x is 1. Okay, so we are done with that. Plus, ln x is staying now. Sin x differentiation, Pada?
cos x.
Cos x. And that also the x differentiate into 1. Yeah. I mean, that's how the chain rule works. Okay, anyway. So they're asking you to get dy by dx in terms of x and y. Okay, so dy by dx is sin x over x. There's a 1 over y. Here, I'll take the y to the side later. Here I get cos x times ln x. So basically the y can go to the other side as a multiplication, right?
Yes.
Okay, so y sin x over x plus y ln x cos x. That's it. So this is your dy by dx in terms of x and y. Okay, so moving on to part B. Hence, show that the x coordinates of the stationary points of C are solutions of this equation. Okay, x coordinates of the stationary points. So when we talk about stationary points, obviously what do we do? When you have a stationary point, dy by dx is equal to, at the stationary point, what's happening? At the stationary point, what's happening? Dy by dx is equal to?
0, miss.
So make it 0, y sine x over x. So we had to get this particular show that, okay, so tan x plus x ln x, okay, tan x plus x ln x. First thing I can do is I can take the y, I think I can remove the y, right? Y is common. Just 2 marks, right? Look at the number of marks with that. So 2 marks means it should not be something that is extremely difficult, right? So y can go to the other side, y removes itself. Okay, y can go to the other side as a division, y removes itself. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
The next thing I can do is I can multiply the whole thing by x, right? It's an equation. I'll multiply the whole thing by x. I end up getting sine x plus x cos x ln x.
Yeah.
Are you with me? And then I think they have taken a tan x here in the show that. So to get a tan x, what do I have to do? Obviously, I'll divide everyone
Divide by cos x. Yeah.
Sine x over cos x is a tan x plus x. Cos x divided by cos x cancels and you get x ln x. Tan x plus x ln x equals 0, which is, I think, our show that, yes. Which is our show that. So this is the end of question number 6. Okay, question number 7. Part 1, using a suitable substitution, find using calculus the value of, this integration, right? So solutions relying entirely on calculus technology are not acceptable. Okay, so you can't type the whole thing in the cal and get the answer. They want to see methods and workings relevant for 6 marks. Okay, so what is the substitution that you think is suitable? And you can see here you have 3x over root of 2x minus 1. Obviously, what makes this complicated? Now, because we have to think of a substitution. The substitution, you can use whatever you want for the substitution. So whatever that can help to make your sum easier. That's what you should use for your substitution. What do you think here? What makes this sum complicated?
The root 2x.
Root 2x minus 1 is what makes it complicated, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then what you can do is you can use your substitution. I mean, you can go here in 2 ways. Those who want can take, okay, so our substitution is, let it be root 2x minus 1. Or you can even take, another person can take u equals just 2x minus 1. So it's entirely up to you. Both ways are correct. So I think the easier option is this, because you have to differentiate this person also. No? So because you're differentiating your substitution, it's easier to go with this one rather than to take the root with this. Okay, so both ways are correct. I'll go with the easier one. So my substitution, u equal 2x minus 1. So, you know, when we do a substitution, what is the proper way to do a substitution? Your entire sum in x should be fully converted to u. Even the dx has to be converted to du. Your x limits should be converted to the u limits. Everything has to change, isn't it? Everything should change. Okay, let's get it done. So first thing is you differentiate your substitution. So when you differentiate u with respect to x, you get du by dx, right? And here you get 2. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
So which means I can, when I get dx subject, I get dx is half du. Is that correct? Because I need to get a substitution for dx. I need to get a substitution for dx. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Then let's get the u equal to x minus 1, get the limits. So x limits are 5 and 1. The upper limit is 5, the lower limit is 1. But tell me what happens when x is 5. So calculate and tell me.
U equals to 9.
when x is 5, u equals to 9.
And when x is 1, u equals
Yeah.
U equals to 1.
Okay, so we are done now. It's time to substitute. So this is immediately don't go to substitute the down people. First, what you do is you substitute the limits and the dx. Dx is half du, right?
Yes, yes.
Limits are 1 to 5 becomes 1 to 9. Okay.
Yeah.
So then now I have replaced these two guys with u. Okay, now it's time to replace in. Okay, so root 2x minus 1 is directly, of course, it's root u in the denominator. What about x, Buddha? How can I replace x? X is, I think,
by subjecting x in that.
Yeah, when I subject x here, I get x is u plus 1 over 2, right?
Yes.
U plus 1 over 2. Shall I put it as a half outside, the over 2? 3 times, the 3 is there. Even the 3, you can bring it out. Are you with me? The 3, you
Yes,
can
yes.
bring it out. X is u plus 1 over 2, the half. Over 2 also, you can bring it out. Over root 2x minus 1 is obviously the u. 2x minus 1 is given. And there's another half here. That half also. This half also, you can bring it out.
So 3 over 4.
Yeah. There's a half here. I hope you understood the other half that came here is x is u plus 1 over 2. That over 2 came here and this 3. Okay.
Okay.
So this is 3 over 4 basically outside. This is 1 to 9. How do we simplify here? Better to separate them, right? Okay, simplify, Buddha. U divided by u to the power half is 1 minus half, right? U to the power half plus u to the power minus half. Are you with me?
Comes.
So what do you get here then? And integrate u to the power half plus 1, 3 over 2 divided by 3 over 2, right?
Yes.
This one, u to the power minus half plus 1 is half divided by half. Are you okay with that?
Yes, miss.
Put the limits, get the answer. This is 2 over 3. 3 over 2, denominator 3 over 2 is 2 over 3. 9 to the power 3 over 2. 1, denominator half means it's 2 over 1. 9 to the power half. Yeah, but get me this value here. How much is it? 2 over 3 into 9 to the power 3 over 2.
Miss, I'm getting 64 over 3.
For which one?
The whole thing, miss. 3 over 4 times 64 over 3.
The whole thing, wait. 2 over 3 into 9 to the power 3 over 2 plus 2 into 9 to the power half, right? This one is 24. You got that, right?
Yes, 24.
This guy is 2 over 3 into 1 to the power of anything is 1. Plus 2 times 1 to the power of anything is again 1. So that is 8 over 3. Do you agree?
Agreed, miss.
Did you multiply with 3 over 4 as well? 3 over 4 times
16, miss.
16. Yeah, that's the final answer. 16. Okay, are you okay with that?
Yeah, miss.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next part. Roman number 2. Find integration of 6x square minus 16 over x plus 1, 2x minus 3. Again, 6 marks. Okay, what is the strategy that we apply here? What's the strategy that we should apply here? Any idea?
The equation in the numerator, we should factorize that.
Numerator, if you factorize, it doesn't factor that. You could just take a 2 out, that's all.
Yeah, that is.
That doesn't help it to factorize. So what is the best way to go ahead here? To integrate something like this. You can see, like, look at the denominator. There are 2 people here. But doesn't it kind of ring a bell?
Yes, yes.
You can take
partial fraction.
Partial fractions, exactly. So then each person gets its own factor. Then we can easily integrate. But when you take partial fractions here, can I directly break it like a over x plus 1 and b over 2x minus 3? Can I directly break it? No, why?
Because
if you take the order of the numerator and order of the denominator, up you have x square. What do you have down here? It's x to the power what? It's easy to x or x square or x cube. What is it? Denominator is also x square, right?
Yes.
So orders are equal. The order of the numerator and order of denominator are equal. This is an improper fraction, isn't it? So in your P4 book, you have learned in partial fractions, there you have the proper fraction and the improper fraction. So proper fraction is when the numerator is lower, the order of numerator is lower. Improper fraction is when the order of the numerator is greater than or equal. Even if it's equal, it's improper. So when it's improper, do you remember how to break it into partial fractions? So here the order is equal, right? When the order is equal, how do you break it? So this is taught in your P4 book. When the order is equal, now you can see here these 2 guys are equal. Then you just put a constant. When the order is equal, put a constant and then start writing the partial fractions. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
When the order is equal, then you have to just put a constant and start writing the partial fractions. But if this was like x cube on top, imagine if this is x cube, what would happen then? Just saying. If this is x cube, then the top and bottom, there's a difference of x, right? On the top you have x cube, at the bottom you have x square, isn't it?
Yeah, miss.
If there was then you have a difference of x term, isn't it? X cube, x square, that's a difference of x term. In that case, your partial fraction should be not just a, but ax and a b. Ax and a b, and then you start writing the partial fractions. Are you with me? Because here there is a difference between x term, x cube and x square. So then you have to give that difference here, x term plus the constant and then the partial fractions. Okay?
Okay, miss.
This is theory in your P4 book. These things are theory in your P4 book. So I came back to the original question. We have x square numerator, x square denominator. In that case, the orders are equal. So just put a constant. Okay, your task is to find ABC. So let's find it. So this is a times plus b times. This is 2x minus 3, right?
Yes.
Plus c times x plus 1. So let's put values for x when x is minus 1. So can I have the answer here? Minus 1, this whole term is 0, right? Because minus 1 plus 1, this whole term becomes a 0. Here 2 times minus 1 minus 3. The c term is also 0, right? When x is minus 1.
Yeah, miss. It's also there.
How much is the answer then? Six into minus 1 square, that is 6 minus 16 minus 10, right?
Yeah, miss. B equals to 2.
B equals to 2. Minus 10 divided by minus 5, B equals 2. Then next get the other value. There's another bracket 2x minus 3, which means x is equal to what? This bracket is 0 when x is 3 over 2. So replace x is 3 over 2. 6 into 3 over 2 square minus 16. So when x is 3 over 2, again this entire a bracket becomes 0. When x is 3 over 2, this bracket also becomes 0. So the c bracket is the only one that remains. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
So how much is it? 6 into 3 over 2 square minus 16. That gives me negative 5 over 2. C times 3 over 2 plus 1 is 5 over 2, right?
Yeah, miss. So I'm getting
C
C.
is minus 1, right?
Yeah.
And then B and C values are found. Now how to get the A value? Because you can see we have two brackets. So for each bracket, we thought x minus 1 will make the bracket 0. X 3 over 2 makes the bracket 0. There are no other brackets. So when there are no other brackets, you can put any x value you want. Okay, to get the next value. So shall we go with x value? What easiest x value? X is 0.
X is 0, yeah.
So you can go x is 1. You can go x is 10. Any value you want. Actually, it doesn't matter whatever you choose. You get the same answer. Because it's the equation. I just chose 0 because it's easier. So 6 into 0 minus 16. A times 0 plus 1. 0 minus 3. Plus B times 0 minus 3. Plus C times 0 plus 1. Get the values for the. This is minus 16 here. A 1 into minus 3. So minus 3A minus 3B. B is 2, right? C is minus 1. How much is it for the? Minus positive 3A here equal minus 6.
Equals to 3, miss.
This is 9, right? A equal 3 divided by 9 divided by 3. A is 3. So I have my partial fractions now. 6x square minus 16 over x plus 1, 2x minus 3 is A is 3, B is 2 over x plus 1, C is minus 1 over 2x minus 3. Okay?
Yes.
A plus B, B is 2. B of x plus 1 plus C, C is minus 1. Over 2x minus 3. So our task was to integrate this guy, right?
Yes.
So now I can integrate this instead, which is a lot easier to integrate, isn't it?
Yes.
So let's integrate with the, just integrating 3 is
3x.
3x plus 2 over x plus 1. When you integrate 1 over x plus 1, the answer is?
ln x plus 1.
There's no x coefficient, right? So that's good. Okay, here minus this guy.
1 over 2 ln 2x minus 3.
And don't forget the plus c. That's it. So this is the integration. I think the hardest part here is to separate the partial fractions. I mean, right, getting the partial fraction part. So that is what takes more mainly the time. Integration part is quite easy. Okay.
Okay, miss.
So that is the end of the 7th question. Okay, relative to a fixed origin O, the lines L1 and L2 are given by the equations. Okay, lambda and mu are the scalar parameters. Okay, given that L1 and L2 meet at the point X, find the position vector of X, 5 marks. So obviously, what do we do when these lines are meeting with the? You have to equate them, right? So get the X value here at the two X, Y, Z coordinates. So you get here 4 plus 3 lambda for the first line. The second line is minus 3 minus 2 lambda. Next one is 2 minus lambda. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
This is line 1. Line 2 is 2 plus 2 mu. Zero minus mu. Minus 9 minus 3 mu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what you got to do is if they are meeting, you can equate them. So equate them 4 plus 3 lambda, the x coordinate of line 1 and the x coordinate of line 2 must be equal. So you end up getting 4 minus 2 is 2. This is 2 mu minus 3 lambda. Equation number 1. Equate the x coordinate. From the next one, you equate the y coordinate. Minus 3 minus 2 lambda equals to minus mu, right?
Yes.
So I end up getting mu minus 2 lambda equal 3. Equation number 2. So solve these two equations simultaneously, get the value of lambda and mu, and then obviously to see if they are meeting or not, you have to substitute the third guy and see whether the third person becomes is agreeing with it. So if the third the person is agreeing with the lambda and mu values, they are meeting. If it doesn't agree, they don't meet. Okay, so they are asking you to, okay, given that it means, so they're telling you it's meeting. Okay, so let's get the values here. How do we solve it? I'll get the mu here. Mu is 3 plus 2 lambda, right? Is that okay? Mu is 3 plus 2 lambda.
Yeah, miss.
So I'll substitute it for the first one. There are many ways of doing. Okay, I'm just doing the substitution method. You might do it in a totally different method, but as long as the simplification is correct, it's fine. Okay, I just replace the mu here with 3 plus 2 lambda. So I get here 2 equal 2 times 3, 6, 2 times 2, 4 lambda minus 3 lambda. 2 equals 6 plus lambda. So lambda is minus 4. Is that correct?
Yes, miss.
And then the mu value. So mu equal 3 plus 2 lambda. 2 times lambda is minus 4. 3 minus 8, right? So which means mu is minus 5. Is that okay? So
Yes,
they have
miss.
told you it's meeting. So you and they're asking you to find the question vector of the point that they meet. So just substitute that into one of the equations. They are not asking you to show that it meets. It's given that the lines are meeting. Okay. So then the point of intersection. Use any one of them. The point of intersection is x. So shall I go with lambda? Lambda is minus 4. 4 plus 3 lambda minus 3 minus 2 lambda 2 minus lambda. Does it make sense to you what I'm doing?
Yes, miss.
Lambda value is minus 4. So I'm replacing the lambda values with minus 4. What is the answer for that?
Minus 8, 5, 6.
Minus 8, 5, 6. Yes. So point of intersection, the x coordinate with respect to the origin, OX. Okay. So find the question vector of x. OX is minus 8, 5, and 6. Okay. The next one. The point P10 minus 70 lies on line 1. Line 1. The point Q lies on line 2. Given that PQ is perpendicular to line 2, calculate the coordinates of Q. Okay, so basically all you have to do is first draw the diagram. So this is your line 1, this is your line 2. Point X is the point of intersection, right? This was the point of intersection, minus 8, 5, 6. Point P lies on line 1. Given that PQ is perpendicular to line 2, Q lies on line 2, and PQ is perpendicular to line 2. So PQ is perpendicular to line 2. Are you with me? Do you agree with my diagram?
Yes.
The PQ line is perpendicular to line 2. Calculate the coordinates of Q. Okay, so how do we calculate the coordinates of Q? So obviously what we do here is, the first thing you need to do here is what, Pata? You know that when two vectors are perpendicular, the what is it? When two vectors are perpendicular, the vector product, the dot product is? Yeah, Pata? When two vectors are, the dot product is equal to 0, right?
Yeah, 0.
So what are the two vectors I should take the dot product here? So what are the two vectors that I should take the dot product here? The 90 degrees, they are around these two guys, right? So take these two vectors, QP vector, and the other one is the line 2, right?
Line 2, yeah.
Okay, so line 2 you can take, for line 2 you can take the line 2 direction vector, and for the other one direction of QP, you'll have to take the direction of QP. For line, I mean, you could take QX as well, but no need to take QX because line 2 covers the direction of QX. Okay, so the two vectors here, now when two vectors are perpendicular, if two vectors are perpendicular, A and B, the dot product of the direction vectors are 0. So here this can be your A and this can be your B. A is the QP guy and B can be the direction of line 2. That is important that you understand. You can take the direction of line 2. Okay. Now you don't have to calculate QX. You could take QX. Okay, but it's I mean, you can do it. There's no problem, but it's going to be time consuming. Okay. What about the Q coordinates, Pradava? How can I take the coordinates of Q? Can you tell me how I can kind of like get the coordinates of Q, Pradava? We know that Q is on line 2, right?
Yeah, miss, we can take it as XQ.
When
Like
if, for any point on top of line 2, you can take the general coordinates by combining these general X, general Y, general Z, right? When you add these three, because this gives you 2 plus 2 mu here gives the general X coordinate of any point on line 2. 0 minus 1 mu gives the general Y coordinate of any point on line 2. Minus 9 minus 3 mu also gives the Z coordinate of any point on line 2. Are you with me?
yes.
So point Q is 2 plus 2 mu, 0 minus 1 mu, minus 9 minus 3 mu, right? So this is the, I mean, as long as you know the mu value, you can generate any coordinate on top of line 2. So basically, because Q is on top of line 2, we can use this particular person to represent, I mean, to represent a coordinate Q. Okay. So let's get QP. Is QO plus OP, right? Are you with me? Actually, I could get PQ instead of getting QP. Shall I get PQ? It's easier. Because you can understand whatever the way I go here, it's still 90, right? Even if I go to the other side, this is still 90, right? PQ,
Yes.
even if I go PQ, it's still 90 over here. So it makes no difference. So I'll get PQ because it's easier. PO plus OQ. So what is PO? The question vector of P is 10, minus 7 and 0. What is OQ, Pudha? OQ is the question vector of Q, which we have found in terms of mu. Are you with me?
Yes.
So add these two guys. 10 plus 2, that is 12 plus 2 mu. Minus 7 minus mu. This is minus 9 minus 3 mu, right?
Yeah.
Are you with me? Okay, now let's get the vector product. PQ, we have to get the vector product with the direction of line 2. Pudha, what's the direction of line 2?
2 minus 1 minus 3.
No, direction of line 2? 2.
Yeah, that's 2 minus 1 minus
3. Yeah. And the vector product should be 0. I got this correct, right? Did I change the signs of PO? I haven't, right? Sorry. PO is wrong. Ne? PO is not 10 minus 7, 0. Ne? This is OP. OP is 10 minus 7. So PO is the negative of it, right?
minus 10 plus 7.
So minus 10 plus 2 is, this should be how much?
Minus 8.
Plus minus 8. This is plus 7 minus mu. This is correct, right?
Yes.
So this is minus 8 plus 2 mu. This is 7 minus mu. This is minus 9 minus 3 mu. Dot product with 2 minus 1 minus 3. Right? So get the dot product 2 times minus 1 times 7 minus mu. Minus 3 times minus 9 minus 3 mu equals 0. Opening the bracket, minus 16 plus 4 mu minus 7 plus 7 mu plus 27 plus 27 mu, right? Sorry, 3 times 3, 9. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
Can you add all these and tell me what's the value here? Minus 16 minus 7 plus 27. How much is it?
4.
How much? Sorry?
4, miss.
4. And then what about the mu values?
Plus 20 mu.
4 mu, 7 mu, 9 mu, 20 mu.
Yes.
Which means mu is minus 4 over 20, basically.
1 over 5.
Minus 1.
Minus 1 over.
Is that correct? I think I have done some error somewhere. Mu minus 8, 7 minus 1 mu, minus 9 minus 3 mu. Minus 1 minus 8. I think I've done some mistakes somewhere. Minus 16, 4 mu. Minus 7. Here, I have written 7 mu. That's a mistake. I'm opening with 1, right? I'm opening with 1. This one, 3 times 9, 27 plus 9 mu. That's correct. So here mu value is wrong. What's the correct mu value here?
4 plus 14 mu will be
How much? 4 plus 1 mu here. 9, 14 mu, right?
7.
Yeah. So minus 4 over 14, which is mu is?
Minus 2 over 7.
Minus 2 over 7. Mu is minus 2 over 7. Okay. And then I think they want you to get the coordinate of Q. So to get the coordinate of Q, so you found the mu value corresponding to this coordinate Q. Okay. So you have found the mu value corresponding to coordinate Q. So OQ is, 2 plus 2 mu, 0 minus mu, minus 9 minus 3 mu. So replace your mu value with minus 2 over 7. And you get the coordinates of Q. How much is it, Buddha?
Getting 10 over 7 plus 2 over 7 and minus 57 over 7.
How much was it? Sorry, 10 over 7.
10 over 7. 2 over 7.
Yeah.
And minus 57 over 7.
Yeah. Do they want question vector or coordinates? Calculate the coordinates. So coordinates of Q, you should write it in question vector is this. Coordinate you write in this way. 10 over 7. 2 over 7 minus 57 over 7. Because they want coordinate, you should write it in this way. If you write it downwards, it's a question vector. Okay, so this is it. This is the end of the vector question. Okay, so question number 9. Bacteria are growing on the surface of a dish in a laboratory. The area of the dish, A square centimeter covered by the bacteria, T days after the bacteria starts to grow is modeled by the differential equation. Given that A is 2.25, T is 3, show that A equals this. Okay, so basically what have they done? From dA by dt coming back to A means they have basically what?
Integrate.
Integrate, because that's how you can come back from A to T, right? So here when we integrate to solve, you have to separate the variables, meaning you have to separate your A and T variables to either side. This is A to the power 3 over 2. So separate, here you get, I'll bring the A to the other side, 1 over A to the power 3 over 2 dA. Here 1 over 5t square dt. Are you okay with what I'm doing?
Yes.
The A can be brought up, A to the power minus 3 over 2 dA. This is 1 over 5 t to the power minus 2 dt. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
And now both sides are separate. I have separated the A and T terms to either side. So now it's suitable to integrate. Let's integrate. So when you integrate A to the power minus 3 over 2, you add 1, you get what? Minus 3 over 2 plus 1 is minus half, right?
Minus half.
Divide by minus half. 1 over 5 is a constant. So when you integrate, add 1 to the power, t to the power minus 1, divide by minus 1 plus c. Is that okay?
Yes.
This is minus 2a to the power minus half. Here you get minus 1 over 5, t to the power minus 1. Agreed?
Agreed.
How do we find the c value?
They have given the a and t values, so we find a c with that.
Okay, can you calculate that with us? So a is 2.25 to the power minus half equal negative 1 over 5 times t is 3. So you'll have to calculate. Can I have this value first? Minus 2 times 2.25 to the power minus half. How much is it?
Minus 4 over 3 miss.
And this guy? Minus 1 over 5 to 3 to the power minus 1 is
minus 1 is 15.
Now bring minus 1 over 15 to the other side. Get the c value.
C equals to minus 19 over 15.
C is minus 19 over 15. So I think there might be a question here that some of you, you might think, what about this 5? Is it like, now I kept the 1 over 5 here. Like, is it wrong or is it right? Like if I bring the 5 to the other side in an event and wrote this as 5 over here, is it wrong or is it necessary? Is it a must to keep the 5 over here? Is there any rule like that? What do you think? No, if you want, you could have kept the 5 here. If you want, you could have taken the 5 to the other side and written this as 5a to the power minus 3 over 2. Okay. So it's entirely up to you. Depending on where your 5 is, it's entirely up to you. If you want, you can keep it here. If you want, you can bring it here. The way you keep the 5, however, will change the c value. However, once you input the c value into the final equation and when you simplify, you will end up getting the same answer regardless of where it is. Even though the c values are differing because of the placement of the 5, everything else will be the same. The final answer will be the same. Final answer at the end, the last answer will always come back uniformly, okay? Because in an event, some people think that the 5 being here is it a must. Okay, so now let's input back our c values. So this is minus 2a to the power minus half equal minus 1 over 5 t to the power minus 1. C is minus 19 over 15. So everyone is negative. Shall we remove the negative and make everyone positive? Making everyone positive, the powers don't become positive, huh? Only the terms are becoming positive. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
This is a to the power negative half. I'll bring it down, a to the power positive half or root a. This is 1 over 5t. What do you think? Are you agreeing with what I'm doing here? They have made a the subject here. So to make a the subject, I think I'm almost there. All I have to do is let's make take the LCM here. LCM is 5 and 15 is 15 and there's a t. Do you agree? For 5 and 15 LCM is 15 and there's a t. So which means this guy I should multiply up and down with 3, right?
Yeah.
This guy I should multiply up and down with t. So I get
3 plus
19t. Turn the whole thing upside down, which means root a over 2 because now both sides are having a uniform fraction. This is 15t because both sides are under as a single fraction. I can turn both sides upside down together. Okay. So root a, the 2 goes up as a multiplication. Do you agree?
Agreed.
And now removing the root by squaring.
Yeah.
Whole thing square, and that is exactly what this is about, right? Kind of like to show that, right? pt plus qt plus r. pt plus qt plus r. P is 30, q is 19, r is 3. Okay, so this is the answer. The show that. 7 marks for this. Okay, Buddha?
Okay, miss.
So let's move on. The next one. According to the model, there is a limit to the area that will be covered by the bacteria. Find the value of this limit. So basically, this limit is this case what I told you that the limits, when you talk about this is about when you are x goes to infinity. So there are 2 cases you have learned. When x goes to infinity, one case is 1 over x goes to 0. The other one is when x goes to infinity, e to the power negative x goes to 0. So these are the 2 cases you have. So out of these 2 cases, which one is the appropriate one here?
1 over x is
1 over x case. Okay, so what you do here is basically when your area, so when you are then there is a limit to the area. So there, when your t is what you do is you have to send your t to infinity. T is the x here. So basically you can't keep it like this. What I'll do is I'll divide both up and down by t. Okay, I'll divide both up and down by t here. I'll divide both up and you're dividing both up and down. So we are not creating any difference, right? Do you agree with me?
agreed. Yeah.
So this becomes 30t divided by t is 30. This is 19t divided by t is 19.
Plus
3 over t. 3 divided by t is 3 over t. Whole thing square. And now you can send your t to infinity. So what happens when t goes to infinity? 1 over t becomes 0. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
1 over t or 3 over t, that whole guy becomes 0. So 30 over 19 whole thing square is your limit for your area. So this is the limit for your area. Can I know how much this is? $900 over
361
square centimeters. Find the value of this limit. So this is the value of the limit. You could give it to 3SF as well. Okay, so that is the end of this paper, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it.